Love smarter, not harder, today's question. Dr. Karen, I'm 33 and my husband is 40. We've been together for 5 years this October. In February of 2019, I began an affair with someone at work. We fell in love, so I thought. And we had discussed our future at length. We planned to get through Christmas, and then in January of this year, our plan was to be together through thick and thin. My gut instinct played havoc with me very soon after meeting this guy, but I ignored it. Then I fell into depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and more. Because in December of 2019, my gut instinct was proven right. He had never ended his marriage and was never planning to. He was going to live a double life. I also found out I wasn't the first girl, I was the fourth. He was currently 3 years into another affair, and he had a young daughter with this woman. I'm convinced he's a narcissist. I told my husband everything in December, and it has been messy since then, as you can imagine. However, during COVID, we've had to live together and we are getting on well, but I feel like I'm living with my best friend. He's forgiven me as much as he can, and he wants us to work out more than anything. But I'm still very hurt by what's happened, as I believed I met someone amazing and I fell in love and I had an affair for a reason. But on his end, it was all a total lie. I believed my future was with him, and now I'm left heartbroken and at home with my husband, who is honestly an amazing guy, probably one of the best people I've ever met. I don't know if I should try to force myself to try again with my husband, as part of me feels like if I don't try to give it another go, I might regret it forever. But I don't want to be intimate with him, not in the slightest. I just feel ruined and I don't know what to do. So first and foremost, if you are still having any suicidal thoughts, please call 1-800-273-8255 or check out suicidehotlines.com. There's a lot of resources. That's the first and foremost thing I need to tell you. Suicidal ideation, suicidal plans, that is nothing that I can handle via Instagram. That's my first thought. So please, please take care of yourself if you're still in that space. Sounds like that was from before, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. So secondly, we really have a situation where you clearly, even 4 years into your marriage, you weren't happy because you started an affair back in February of 2019. So my concern is that I'm hearing that you're more than anything heartbroken about the affair being broken up, and that you were betrayed and lied to by the guy who you're having an affair with, which is kind of interesting because, of course, there's lots of lies that are involved with an affair, but you believed that you guys were both going to leave who you were with and embark on this life together, and of course, that is painful. That being said, you have your husband at home who is willing to take you back and loves you wonderfully, and the thing about it is that you recognize he is a great person. So two things could be going on. It's either that you settled initially and you mentioned that your husband's like your best friend and that you never had that passion for him and that's why you were prone to stray, or else it is that there's something within you that can't be happy with a good, solid guy. You're looking for that toxic element because you said even initially your gut was telling you that something was off with this guy, and yet you still continue to have an affair with him and make plans for a life with him. So it's either that your marriage wasn't really strong in the first place, or that there's something within you that needs to be examined as to why you can't be loved by a guy who's good and loving and kind to you. And so that would be something where maybe you don't feel that you're worthy of love, or you don't feel, you come from a chaotic background perhaps, so you've never seen that a good solid relationship is wonderful and loving and kind, and it's a great way to live life, because coming from a chaotic background with lots of toxic relationships, something that's too good feels too boring or feels too normal, and you crave that excitement of the indiscretion of the affair with the bad boy. And it's so exciting because you're going to eventually leave your spouses and embark on this life together, even though down deep you knew he was a live wire. You knew he was not to be trusted, but you stayed with him because your gut was telling you that, and yet you kept going with him. So there's a lot of introspection that you need to do. I am worried that you don't want to have, again, I'm worried that you feel more distress about the breakup of the affair than of the stepping out on your marriage. I want to say this gently, but that's a concern, because if I look at the future of you and your husband, he's willing to work on it, but I don't see you having that energy to work on it. You want to work on it, it sounds like, out of fear that if you don't try to make a go of it, you'll regret it forever, because maybe you're afraid of being alone. Maybe in the midst of, as we talked about, even though the security feels boring, you still want the security because it's scared to be without your husband, who you've been with for a while and is a very good friend to you. This is a very complex question, and it's a lot for me to try to handle in a Love Smarter, Not Harder. But I just want to present to you some of the themes that I'm hearing. And I am concerned that you don't want to have sex with your husband at all, because coming off an affair and confessing that to your husband and then trying to make it work with him saying he doesn't want to make it work, I think a positive sign would be that you definitely wanted to stay in this marriage and you wanted to be physical with him and you wanted to repair the damage that's done. I'm not hearing that. So my concern is that even if you try to make a go of it with your husband, that in a year from now, we could be at the same place again, and you would be finding other people desirable and perhaps stepping on your husband again. So there's really no answer that I can give you. It's an answer you have to give yourself. But I hope me kind of breaking down what I'm hearing and reading from you, I hope that was helpful.